What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Iconic 24. I'm Zach. I'm one of the content writers here at Vagaro, and I have a super legit session in store for you today. First things first, I've got just a little housekeeping to take care of. We're going to be having new sessions every Monday in September, except for Labor Day. The cool part is, if you attend at least 3 of those sessions, you'll be automatically entered in for a chance to win our exclusive Iconic giveaway. Pretty sweet, right? And then really quick, before I bring out our guest and we get into our topic today, everyone just take a sec to introduce yourselves in the chat. Tell me who you are, where you're from, and what you do. I'd love for this to be less of a interview and more just a conversation between us all. And now, if I could please get everyone's help in giving an extremely warm welcome to today's guest, United States Marine Corps veteran, master barber, and owner and founder of Thank My Barber, Mr. Nick Romero. Woo!
Yes, sir.
Nick,
Zach, thank you very much. Doing good. Thank you. It's good being here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, before we get into our topic, I'm curious, and I'm sure everyone watching at home is curious, just a little bit more about your professional journey, man. How and why did you choose barbering? What can you tell us about that?
Growing up, I grew up in Miami, and I had a really close friend of mine, Freddie. He used to cut everyone's hair, and we're in middle school. We're getting designs on the side of our head and everything, and everyone's
Nice.
looking cool and all. And one day I go to the house, and I'm hanging out with him and his brother, and he just pulls out this huge wad of cash. And he's like, look what I got from this weekend cutting hair. And I'm like, what? I'm like, come on, Freddie. He's like, for real. And, I was doing graffiti and I was drawing and doing stuff, and I loved the designs. The designs is really what drew me to the haircuts.
Gotcha.
And I said, you know what? I think I can do this too. So one day I'm at Sears with my mom, and we're walking down the path, like in the middle, in between the lanes there, and I just found a pair of Conair clippers. It's a dual set. And I told my mom, I was like, Mom, buy me those clippers. She's like, why? And I said, I'm gonna learn how to cut hair. They were like $20 for a dual. And I was like, I'm gonna learn how to cut. I want those. And from that point on, I just kept cutting hair, and started in the backyard, people's houses, finally in the barbershop, but that's how it started. My man Freddie, he's the one that gave me that juice.
That's awesome. Shout out Freddie, dude. That's very cool. And then, so fast forward a bit, now you're owning your own barbershop. Was that always the end goal for you, or what was that kind of transition like from solo professional into business owner?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to say it was an end goal, mainly because before I even joined the Marine Corps, 2005, while I was working at this dealership in where was it? It was in Miami, but it was a dealership called The Collection. I'm over there working, and as I'm working, I have these little like yellow notepads, and I'm just sitting there drawing up what I wanted as a barbershop. So even at 18, I was already drawing up my barbershop. And if I wasn't going to leave to the Marine Corps, I was probably going to open up a shop in Miami by my mom's house. That was the goal. It was funny because I had gone through my storage before moving back to Florida, and I found those little sticky notes with all of my.
No way.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
I have that somewhere.
Dude, you should frame those, and that'd be awesome.
Oh, it will. I'm gonna put it here in the new shop. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. But I never really had an end goal. I guess an end goal, in Miami at the time, there weren't really franchise barbershops for us like that. I never thought of let me own 50 shops or anything like that.
Totally.
It was just cutting hair and creating something for the community, for the people to be able to come and enjoy. That's really what it was for me.
Totally.
That's where we're at now.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's like you fell in love with the art and the people first before you were like, I just want to make a bunch of money and become this crazy.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
It wasn't all about the money. It was really about the hands-on, working with the people and building that environment. I've always liked business, so it worked out the way.
That's awesome. All right, man. Well, I'm super stoked to get our session started, and I'm going to do that with a question to everyone, to you and the chat. really quick, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think thriving company culture? For those of you watching at home, write in the chat. But Nick, what does that look like at its core to you? What does a thriving company culture look like to you?
I guess I think like Google sometimes.
Okay.
I've
Okay.
seen some videos of Google, like where you go to the Google building and it's just like rooms, like game rooms and rooms where you can hang out and you can sleep and take a nap and you can hang out. And it's just culture of everyone's like, hey, we're in this together. We're in this to play. You can still have fun. You can still do your thing, but get your work done.
Totally.
Also, that reminds me of BuzzFeed. When I was in LA, I was in San Diego and LA. The BuzzFeed's culture was pretty awesome. I really liked it because it was like there was no like stress and threats. You already have enough stress on getting things in on a certain time, editing
Totally.
things and all that. So I saw a lot of my friends and people there doing that. But the fact that you can go to, we call it like the dunk, or you go to the kitchen. They had this huge kitchen and they just had, the food was free. The drinks were free. The chips were free. They had this. It's just, I loved going there. And when I brought my kids over there, it's like, I can just grab whatever I want. I'm like, go put it in your pocket. Don't show nobody.
That's very cool.
But for me, that's it. It's about creating a space where people enjoy being at work.
Like a community, right?
Well, you build that community, but the last thing you want to hear someone say is, man, I got to go to work today. You hear it all the time. If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to have fun. If you don't have a passion for it, you're not going to actually go in there and thrive or want to be at work. So if you have a job that's not purposeful and that's actually giving something, you're not going to want to be there, So that's something that I like to create within my business for my barbers, stylists we're going to have in here, because for us as barbers and entrepreneurs in this field, it's not about us. It's all about the clientele. It's all about the community.
Totally.
So when I bring the community all out here into this ecosystem, I want them to be able to come in here and say, man, it looks good in here. It feels good in here. These guys all have good vibe and good connection with each other. And I got a good haircut, because on top of all of that, I got a good haircut.
I love that. And I love the word ecosystem too that you use, because it's almost like you're blending the behind the scenes, the internal company culture, but also all the stuff that, people see, the clients see, the shop, having a clean shop, people's attitudes, all that kind of stuff. It's like
reviews, everything.
Exactly.
People talk about you out there in the street, like everything.
Totally. Then it's almost like community and culture kind of go hand in hand, right? They're almost like on the flip side of the same coin, right? Would you say?
Yes. Yes. I think the issue that I've had with my industry is that people seem to create a culture in their barbershop that does not reflect the community too well, or does not reflect the type of community that they want in the shop.
Got you. I see.
They say you're the best of the 5 people that you hang out with. But sometimes if you don't change your crowd, you're not going to become a better person. So if you create a system or a place where it's just always bringing in the same type of bad energy or the same type of energy, nothing that's really thriving, your clients are going to be the same. Everyone's going to be the same, and no one's really going to be moving. And if you're not progressing and trying to move, what are we doing?
Totally. It's like that. It's like that. I think it's like a golden rule, but it's like surround yourself with people that you want to become, or with like-minded people. That's awesome. And in one of our previous talks, you mentioned how barbers, they're not just service providers. They're mentors. They're artists. Do you think it's necessary for barbershops, or really any business, to have that kind of mentor-like figure in their business?
Yes. Any business in general. I think one of the things that businesses will fall is when they lose that entrepreneurial spirit, whether it comes from the CEO all the way down, and that manager is not accepting and giving that same spirit to the rest of the people on the floor or wherever it is. When you get someone that's just like, oh, I just picked up manager, I'm a manager, oh, my pay went up and I'm good to go, and then they're not actually giving that culture that's needed because they don't believe in it, because they don't understand it, then yeah, it is important. Now in this industry, we are mentors behind this chair. We do get kids that come in here, and I've had kids in my chair that, come from single homes. And I've had parents. I had a barbershop in San Diego 13 years. It was called Rock Nick's Barbershop. That's where I found you guys, Vagaro.
That's awesome.
I've had parents there call the shop and bring me their children to talk to them about how they're acting and misbehaving in school or even at the house. Now, that's happened to us. I had I had one of my barbers, Big Mike, him and myself. I called him. He's the oldest one in the shop, and I said, Mike, I need you. And I told him what it was. He remembers who they were. It was my client, his client. It was two of them. And we did. We sat down. The kid came. We sat out there and we spoke to him. And that gave us that. It was so much pride to say, awesome. Man, it actually happened. Like totally. What we do, what we speak about actually happened. Someone called us, asked us for help because she can't do it. And she said, you guys are the only father figures that I see, even though Mike wasn't a father yet. I think he was. That even though, like, she was like, the way that you guys handle yourself, the way that you hold yourself up as men in the barbershop, that's all I had asked for. Something happened, her sister had passed away, and she had taken over her kids, her niece or her nephews. So we had spoken to them, and that was like, So it's like a lot of the kids come to the chair. I may have kids talking crazy to their parents, and I'll say like, one second. And I talk to the kid. And totally. I've always spoken to every kid in my chair as if they were my own kid. And I've never had not one parent tell me, please don't talk to my kid that way. Not one.
That's awesome.
22 years I've been cutting hair. If a kid acts up, I check them, and the parent is like, you better listen to Mr. Nick. Or the dad, your sister, like, oh man, he's being reprimanded. What did I do? Or how come I, because the father didn't get in there quick enough.
Totally.
So for me, I love it. That's what it's all about.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Yeah, it's like you're like the cornerstone of your community almost. Yes. Like your teachers inside the barbershop with each other and with clients, and sure, but it's really primarily the clients that are coming in that you're being mentors to. You're the children who may not have, like you said, a person to look up to at home and everything. That's awesome. And I kind of want to pivot from that, the like client facing mentor role. And you mentioned how, a manager could really sink a barbershop or a business if they don't have that entrepreneurial mindset or that mentor mindset. If I'm not a business owner, how could I still be that person in my barbershop or in my Pilates studio or in whichever business? How can I be that mentor and that person, even if I'm not the owner?
If you're not the owner, as like the manager?
Yeah, like if I'm just a manager, or maybe I'm an experienced employee, or like a booth rent, someone who's been there for a while. How can I be a mentor to the other employees, and how can I keep that entrepreneurial mindset alive with my kind of middle position?
I believe mentorship comes with experience. I never thought that I was going to be a mentor. Sometimes I love knowledge. I love reading books. I love listening to podcasts. I love just seeking. Someone may say something and I look at them and I'll be like, all right, 1 second. And I pull out this computer out of my pocket and I just start doing my own research. I'm just like, okay. Or if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Show me I'm wrong. Like, I have no problems being told I'm wrong for anything. When it comes to managing and running a business, they need to believe in the story of that business. They need to understand what it is that we're doing here in this community.
Got it.
And it's like, I know it's a little difficult because in our industry, I tell people all the time, if you're not a barber, you're not going to be able to run a barbershop, and if you are, then you have to believe that story. You have to understand where that owner is coming from and why we do what we do. But then at the time, the owner definitely needs to be hands-on with that manager, because I've seen people opened up barbershops that were not barbers at all, and they were just fish out of water, not knowing what to do because they don't know how to manage these guys, because barbers are another breed of people. They don't know how to manage them. They walk out, they leave, and this guy doesn't know how to cut hair for anything. So now you got a barbershop full of chairs and no barbers in it. So I tell people all the time, this isn't a laundromat. This isn't a turnkey laundromat where you could just buy a bunch of machines and sit back and just start like filling up with coins and all that. No, we actually, this is more. This is a community within the shop. This is a community in the shop. So I would say for anyone that's going to be a manager at a place that wants to take on that managerial role, start doing things in the business that you feel a manager or an owner would be doing. For instance, cleaning up after yourself, sweeping around the shop when you start sweeping, making sure that the bathroom's cleaned after you get out of it, not just checking the bathroom throughout the day. When you get out, you clean that whole entire thing. You know, if you see the front of the shop is full of hair, whatever it is, just grab the broom and just start sweeping the hair out the front of the shop. You know, when you see the mirrors are all messed up, go ahead and start cleaning up mirrors. Start cleaning the bottom of those barber chairs, because when people start seeing you doing that, the other barbers are going to start picking up those habits, and they're going to be like, you know what? Hey, Chris is doing this, Craig's doing this. You know, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna do it as well. I'm gonna help out as well, because you end up setting yourself apart. Next thing you know, the owner does see you doing that, and they come up to you and they're like, hey, you know what? I need someone that's going to be with me a couple of more hours after, or come in a little bit before, or I want to see if you can take on this role. Maybe move over here to this chair, and I'll give you more of a percentage of your services, or I'll give you less rent, or however, you know, your shop is ran. But once you show where you want to be, you're going to be in that place. You can't just say I'm going to be an owner. You can't just act like it. You got to start doing it now.
Yep. You got to lead by example. Believe in the business's mission, like what you said. I love that. That's awesome. Believing in the business's mission.
Yes.
And now you've mentioned some of like the kind of the internal things that businesses and like those kind of interim positions can do to help foster that community inside. But is there any specific things that you've mentioned, or any specific things outside of your barbershop that you would, you know, recommend to do to help build a community, or things that you've specifically done just in your own experience?
I think as a barbershop specifically, getting together with the salons and the stylists now is even just as important, because they don't do it as much. But doing community work outside of the barbershop is imperative for your barbershop, because we are a hands-on industry. We cut hair, we reach people, we meet people, we build, and our energies collide in this barbershop, good or bad. It's always going to be good if you come at it with a good energy.
Totally.
So we've done things with my shop in San Diego where we've done fall festivals at a local elementary school, and during the fall we'll have a booth there and we do crazy hair art. So I literally will have my wife print out stencils from her printer, and then I would take that hair paint that you'd find at Walmart or and I'll just sit there. I'll bring a barber chair. I'll have a table. It'll say the barbershop name on a big banner. I have flyers all over the front for the barbershop. We have T-shirts and all this stuff. And then kids will be in line. They said we were one of the biggest booths every year. We did like 5 years straight. Kids would be in line with little tickets, and I'll show them the stencils. They'll choose a stencil, or they say, I want my whole hair red, or I want blonde tips. And we'll just sit there with the spray paint and just spray them. That was always a hit with the kids. And when the community sees that we're out there and we're like 4 or 5 lights away from the barbershop, they're like, oh, look at you guys outside of the barbershop. We're like, yeah, we're people too. We're here.
That's very cool.
We're hanging out with you guys. At the end of the year, we would do haircuts for the homeless in downtown San Diego. We would work with a community there that they have there, Father Joe's, and we would set up under a tent there, and we had a nice little system there, and we would do haircuts. We'd have all the barbers show up. I would get a U-Haul, put all the chairs in there, take the barber chairs out there, and I would buy all the barbers brand new clippers just for this event, and I'd take it back, and we'd hold it back until the next year, and or any time that we do things out in the community, and we would be out there just doing as many haircuts as possible. I think we did about 130, 140 haircuts, 5 of us, in 4 hours. You know, we're
Wow.
just cutting. They're in lines. I have videos and pictures
Dang.
of all those things.
That's
Out
super
here,
cool.
recently, I'm out here in Florida, and I have for the last 2 to 3 years, once a month, I'll go to with this church, this outreach church, and they do haircuts for the homeless, and they provide
Mm.
food and clothes and ministry and all this type of stuff. And I started with the school when I was teaching with Paul Mitchell, and I would have all my students out there with me. And as I left the school, I've continued that with that church because they're like, Nick, we still need you. And I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
there. Don't worry. I'm there.
that's cool.
So I've been showing up, and for me, that's everything. I love it. I love it. I've had someone hit me up for it was a cancer event for kids that have cancer, and they just
Mm.
want to have they had a bunch of barber chairs, and they had a bunch of firefighters showing up, and we were just doing zeros on all of them,
Whoa,
on all of them.
that's awesome.
Yeah, but
That's super, super cool.
it's been fun.
That's great, man. Is it like,
It's really important to do those things because I've gained a lot of firefighters just from that event out here that I did.
yeah,
And
totally.
you know, you meet a lot of people this way. You go out to the community, and you don't do it just to say, "Oh, someone's gonna watch me," or "I'm gonna
Yeah,
be." No, you just do it. You
totally.
just do it. Once in a while, I'll
Totally.
post pictures. Once in a while, I'll create a little video. But I've done much more than what people have seen online. I just do it to do it because it
Yeah,
doesn't. Because it's like you're bringing that good karma back out. You're going
totally.
out
It's like
there and you're helping out, and you know that it's gonna come right back in.
absolutely
No
doing what
problem.
you love while doing the right thing at the same time. That's
Yes.
awesome, man. And you mentioned going to, like you had with your church, the Paul Mitchell, when you were teaching with Paul Mitchell, right?
Yes.
Would you say like those kind of the outreach events are also like a good opportunity for you to find potential barbers or people that you'd want to have in your team? Are those like, would you
No.
recommend outreach for that?
No.
Interesting. Okay, so what would you recommend for looking for if I'm looking for new barbers, what's the best
So
source?
I'm happy you said that. Yeah, outreach and all that, that's all community work. That's
Mm,
meeting the community. When I'm looking for people, now, twice I had an issue when I first opened up my barbershop with company culture, right?
mm,
And I knew that it started with me. I was 24 years old, just got out the Marine Corps, and I opened up a shop, and I was just very excited. I was very excited. I was like, yeah, let's hang out. Every day was a party, and I knew that this needed to stop. So after stopping and setting up by example and trying to get everyone on board, it was
mm.
really difficult. Twice I had to get rid of everybody in my barbershop.
Oh, wow.
And the second time, I wasn't quick to hire people because back then we were using Craigslist. So,
Oh,
you know, we put out an ad and then we'd wait for people to hit us up, and it wasn't working out. I was getting people that were good, but they had bad habits. I was getting people with no licenses, and I'm like, I'm
mm,
sorry, I can't do that. So eventually, after about 2.5 months of me cutting hair by myself, 7 days a week, 9 to 9, I told the
wow.
wife, I need to find somebody. I'm going to go to the local schools. And
Mm,
that is how you're going to end up finding the right people for you. Because I tell folks, I can teach you how to cut hair. Zach, give me 3 weeks with you, and you're going to be a better barber than you ever thought you were. Three
let's do
weeks
it.
every day, 21 days, and I'm going to get you nice. Hands on, you'll be a great barber. I promise you. Three
Boom.
weeks. But I can make barbers, but it's really hard to create good people. That comes from
Mm,
their history, that comes from their baggage, that comes from their homes, that comes from their communities. Um, a good person, of course, you can help them, you can help, mentor them, you can help lead them, but it's up to them that if they really, really want it. So, for instance, I go to a school in downtown San Diego, and I talk to the whole entire class of, let's say, 40. I
mm,
talk to everyone. I give them a good 2 hours. I even do a demo. I do a haircut, and they love it. I'm giving out Thank My Barber towels to everybody. I got all these Thank My Barber little towels, and I'm giving out all these towels and everything. And when the class is over, people get up and they want to leave. They want to go
mm,
outside. They want to eat. They want to smoke. They want to go do what they're doing. But I'll have about 5 or 6 stay back that want to talk to me. That they like what
mm,
my company culture was. They
mhm.
like who I believe a barber is supposed to be in your community, in your shop, at home, for your family. Like everything that I was saying, these 5 or 6, they came and they were like, we love what you said today. Can we come
That's
see your
awesome.
barber shop? I only have 6 chairs, you
Yeah,
know?
that's perfect.
So out of
Yeah.
those 40, I got my 5. I
Dang.
think out of those 5, maybe 3 stayed with me, right? Because
Mhm.
the other 2 just they weren't really looking for it. But I did it again. I went to a bunch of schools all throughout San Diego. Next thing you know, I had my team. So
That's
now I
awesome.
had great barbers with good mentality, good work, good company culture, and work ethics and all that. And now I needed to help them behind the chair. So now I'm cutting hair. I'm with you, Zach. I'm cutting Zach's hair, and I'm over here like, Zach. One of them, I see him messing up, or he'll look at me and be like, Zach, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. And I'll go over there, and I'm like, do this, look at that, look at this, look at this. And if you need me, I'll be right back. And I'll go back to you. Hey, my bad, Zach. Trying to cut as fast as possible because now this guy called me. Hey, give me 1 second,
Mm.
Zach. And Zach's over here like, I only have 30 minutes, man.
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
get back to work. So after a
Yeah.
couple of months of me doing this, some of my clients were getting a little irritated. I let them know, and a lot of them were like, Nick, you're the owner. You got to run shit. I understand. You know, being
Totally.
in the military city, they understood. You know, you got to run stuff. But
Definitely.
during that time, I learned a lot. I learned that I can create barbers. I need good people. I learned different ways in teaching those barbers how to get a straight line, how
Mm.
to look for certain things when you're fading hair. It really taught me a lot while I was in there with them. And I was able to now create different things. Even when I was working at the school here in Fort Myers, I already they had a curriculum. I got the curriculum, but it's like I knew what I was doing. Like
Totally.
I knew how to get every one of these barbers on point if they wanted to. And the ones that did, they're on fire right now.
Boom.
A
Yeah.
year and a half licensed, and these guys are making like good
Crazy.
money down in Naples, Fort Myers, wherever, Port Charlotte. Like these guys are doing great because they
That's
listen.
awesome.
And yeah, I love teaching. I do. I really like it.
That's really really cool, man. It's like you're not, even if I'm not a barber, maybe I like have some kind of fitness aligned business or some other a beauty industry type business. If I'm a business owner, I shouldn't be looking for barbers or personal trainers. I mean, yes, in overall, but I need to be looking for people. I need to be looking for good people,
Yes.
like you said. I
Yeah.
love that.
If you're a personal trainer, of course you're gonna go to the local school that's certifying trainers, and you're gonna talk your spiel.
Yeah,
And it's all on you. It's your culture. It's your
totally.
culture. If your culture is not well, if you don't understand what it is that you want to create and bring to your community, then you're just going to get a bunch of guys that are going to show up that are just going to want to throw weights around and not care and not clean up after themselves, or just looking at the hot thing coming in and not worrying about
Mhm.
what it is that we're doing. Like it's all about the culture and what you're trying to create.
Totally.
Yes,
And
sir.
off of that, what kind of like even if it's just a few like off the bat kind of things, what do you typically look for in people when you're looking for someone to join your team? What are kind of
Um,
like that, what's like that, the traits, those key identifiers you're
when
looking for?
when I'm talking to them, they're looking at me in my eyes.
Mm,
They're not just kind of like walking around doing their thing. You know, in my industry, you get a lot of young barbers that are always trying to one up their clients. I don't
mm,
need these guys. I don't need the celebrity barbers that want to just come in here and be all grand. No, I need
mm,
someone that's going to be respectful. I need someone that I can introduce to my mom. I need
mm.
someone that I know that I can put out there that's going to represent this business. And it's just you feel it now. Now you feel it. Now it's
Mhm.
that energy. I've had enough. In the 13 years I've had my shop, I've had maybe 25 barbers. And I just sold my shop last year, and about 3 out of the 6 chairs are still my barbers that are there.
That's
3 or
awesome.
4 of them are still my barbers from previous. They're still there. 8, 9 years cutting hair. You know, you feel it. After I feel like my turnover rate in my shop was really low. I had a low
Mm,
turnover rate because in the beginning it was kind of like, yeah, come cut. And then after a while, I was like, man, okay, oh man, okay, I'm having all these issues. All right, let me tell you my spiel face to face. Do you like
totally.
what I have to offer? Do you like what I'm expecting of you and what you're going to expect of me? Yes. Okay. Cool. I got a independent contractor agreement for us to work, which says the same thing that we're talking verbally. It's just so you have it, you know, on paper. And you'll get that. I've had barbers that came to me and I'll talk to them and they're just all over the place or looking all over the place. And they're like, man, there's always a line out this barber shop, man. I want to work here. Your shop's closer to my house than the shop I'm working at. But I don't like the way that you guys have a cash register. Or I don't like the way that you close up to do events. And I'm like, well, we have a cash register. Yes, some barbershops have it where you pay the barber at their chair, and that's fine. But then if I had a barber that's on rent and I had a barber that was on commission because they're brand new on a rented in a rental type barbershop, and I have different people doing different things, my clients are going to get confused.
Totally.
Right? So my register was all about client, what's the word I'm looking for? That client environment.
Client like satisfaction, like flexibility.
No. I guess yes, I guess. It's just it's that experience where they come in, they get a haircut, they go to the register, they pay at the register. There's products there that they can buy if the barber didn't already sell them one. And then on top of that, we get their information, which is what we need as a barbershop. I get their name, I get their birthday, I get their email, and then we make sure that they get their messages through Vagaro and they get, their reviews, and we let the barbers know and push them. Because a lot of these barbers, they don't have the entrepreneur spirit. A lot of them just like to cut.
Interesting.
They just want to cut. A lot of them just want to work in a barbershop that works. Not everybody can be a shop owner because you go through a lot. If I turn this thing around, I'll show you right now. I got 3 floors right now. I got paint on these walls. Like I'm in the process of building. A lot of people can't hack that. Some just want to go to a place that's already working, sit in the back, and make some money. Leave me alone, and that's fine. I can use those guys, as long as you want to work with the team.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's cool. It's like once you have the barber and the artist mindset, it kind of goes back to like what we were talking about at the beginning. The entrepreneurial mindset never leaves, that being able to meet any of your clients' needs, if they're paying a different way, if they're getting a different type of cut, maybe they want a product or they don't, or all that kind of stuff that allows you to think on your feet as an entrepreneur,
Oh, yeah.
You did mention Vagaro, so now I kind of want to poke and prod a little bit.
All right.
What were some of the features, if any, or ways that you like to kind of use Vagaro to help steer or keep things afloat at the barbershop?
So my wife found Thank My Barber, so we could thank Zulai. She found Thank My Barber. Now I think I've had him over. It was like 9 years ago, so it was like 9. I've been with Vagaro longer than a lot of people have worked at Vagaro. Okay, me and Fred were like that. Okay, and when she brought me Vagaro, at first people were just walking in and signing their name on a paper and sitting down. And then if I went down the list and I passed your name, SOL, you get no haircut, right? But I had people waiting for 1 to 3 hours. Hey, Nick, I'm like 15th on the list. How long do you think? I'm like, and I'll just count like 30. Come back in like 3 hours. And they'll be like, 3-4 hours? Like, all right, I'll be back.
Yeah.
And we were just playing this game. Finally, the wife, she went and found Vagaro. She brought it to me, and I'm like, it's a salon app. And she's like, yeah, I know. And in the beginning, it was just the salon app. And I'm just like, nah, whatever. Okay, I'll do it. Whatever you want, Sulai. It's my wife. She's my business partner. She brought it in, right? I said, we'll make it happen. She did all the research. She did all that. And then she made me sit at home and go through all the research and everything. Like
I love that.
The YouTube, Vagaro University, and all that stuff that we used to have. And I loved it. I love the fact that now we had client information. I love the fact that we're able to allow, once you make an appointment, that they end up getting a message on their phone and they're able to review the barber and review the barbershop. That was huge for me as a shop owner because that allowed me to see if my barbers weren't up to par on what it is I'll do. Because my clients back in San Diego, a lot of military guys, they're straightforward, especially the wives. The wives will be in there and she'll be like, the shop was a mess. Sam was great. And they'll be like, I gotta clean the shop up. What time was she over here? Hey guys, why weren't you guys cleaning? Like, what happened in here?
Totally.
So it's I loved that. That for me was everything. And then my barbers loved that too, because it shows now that Vagaro is integrated with Google and Apple and all that. When you look up a barbershop online, it pops up their reviews for Vagaro and for Google on the internet. So a barber that's highly favored in a certain shop, it's going to pop up as, you know, their reviews are going to pop up and you can read those. So once I showed my barbers these things, we'd have a meeting once a month and I would show them these numbers. I would show them all these things and they get all excited because they're not doing those things on their own. So once I showed them, like, look at these reviews you're getting, or look how many people you've brought in, or look at all these cuts that came in through Facebook or Instagram and all that, which is another feature that we have that I really love. It shows us on our calendar where those clients booked from. So that allows me to see, and I haven't tried this. I haven't tried running a report on that. I don't know if I can, but if I was, it allows me to see where most of those appointments are coming in from.
Yeah.
And then I know that, hey, you know what? Let's do a whole ad on Instagram because everybody's showing through Instagram. Or let's do an ad on Facebook. Like, those are those things that I really take to heart and I really love. Another thing that I like, I've been using Vagaro. Another thing that I like is the emails. The emails. I just recently started using the text messaging. I like the emails more. The emails are more personable. The text messaging, they come with like a 188 number or whatever. So I know a lot of people, including myself, I don't like 188 numbers coming on my phone. It seems like spams and all that. But the emails, I love the email concept that we've created. I love the AI integration that we've just done where it helps you actually create. If you're writing up a description and you just want some help, you can change that. You can put,
like any tone or like all that kind of
tone
stuff.
of the oh man, it's just I love that. Cool. I love that. Awesome. I love that the emails stay in my folder so I can see how many people clicked it, how many people made appointments from the email, how many people actually like. It's just it's so much integrated in one, and I love it. I really do.
That's very cool. Yeah. That's great to hear. I love that, man. It's cool because it's almost like you can use the analytics that you get from Vagaro, from the software, to like boost the internal morale and like in the culture. Like,
in the shop. No, definitely. I would hook up my laptop to the TV, to the big screen sometimes during my meetings.
That's awesome.
And like, look at this guy's numbers. And this guy's numbers. Yeah, like we're in a board meeting.
That's very, very cool. Do you think, I mean, and this is kind of just like a side off question, but do you think, is it necessary for businesses, even like if I'm like a solopreneur, or maybe not solopreneur, that wouldn't make sense, but just like a smaller studio, or maybe there's you
have a suite or something?
Yeah. Would you say that still having those monthly check-ins and those meetings, is that necessary, or how would you adjust?
You're by yourself, and you should have meetings by yourself too. Yes. You know, even if you sat down and you looked at your reports and everything, it's really imperative. I have a couple of friends of mine that moved out of a shop and went and got a suite, and they're also on Vagaro. So it's important. It's 100% important. You have to get client information. You get to send them messages on what's going on. You can have products sold online, and you can put it on your Vagaro site, and you can put your products on there. It does product management as well. It's just everything. It's everything. You know, it hooks up and integrates onto Google Maps, Apple Maps, everything. So it also helps out with SEO because Vagaro is so big now. We've grown from salon to barbers to tattoo to masseuse to, I mean, even more than that. I can't think of it all. Oh, weight training and working out, you know what I'm saying? And spa. And we've done so much now that now Vagaro is all out there. So when someone looks up your place, they could just look up your store. Not even Vagaro. Just look up your store. It's going to pop up Vagaro, and then it's going to pop up under that Google. It's going to pop up all the different things as long as your SEO is all correct. But Vagaro helps with that. And I think it's great. It's great. Cool. I love it.
That's very cool. All right. Well, I think we're getting up to the end of our time here, but
are we? Come on.
I did want to ask, Nick, you're one of the Vagaro icon coaches too, right?
Yes, I am.
What could someone expect from having you as their Vagaro icon coach? What's that kind of relationship and what's that look like?
I really loved when Vagaro came to me and asked if I wanted to create this, because I was working at the school for a while, and once I stepped away from that, I knew that I still wanted to teach. I knew that I still wanted to create something, and I was still passionate about helping others.
Totally.
So, well, we've created a couple of different courses on my Vagaro Cultures website. And let me see here. It's called Strategic Success in Barbering. Now, it's not just for barbering, as some of you may have already heard here just listening to this. And if you're not in a barbershop, you can relate to a lot of the things that we're even talking about now. So even if you're not a barber, you could still take in a lot of the things from the courses that you do take. So some of the courses I've created is marketing and branding for yourself and your business in the community. Business operations. As you've heard, I've already gone through a lot of the things that's happened within my business and my shop. I've also went to school for business and organizational leadership. I got my degree in that. And client relationship management. Vagaro is like the #1 management tool that we can use for that. Effective retail strategies. I have created a system where I even showed barbers how they can pay rent, or they can pay their whole week just by selling product. And that was doing my monthly meetings and showing them the reports.
That's awesome.
And I show one of my barbers. I was like, hey man, if you only sell 9 of these a week, you paid rent just paying off with selling product. How many clients are you getting every week? 70 something. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sell that's crazy.
Sell 2 a day. Sell 2 a day out of all your clients, and you paid rent. Man, that guy was making so much money, and it was incredible.
That's awesome.
Then I have there More Than Barbering, where we talk a little bit more about different things like effective communication, speaking with people, understanding how we communicate, and for me, it's a lot. It's everything. And then technical skills training, I have that on there, where that's more hands-on.
Cool.
I don't know how that one's working on there, but that one's more of a hands-on thing where I can possibly even go to your state, to your city, to your shop, your salon, and we can do a hands-on with everyone there at the shop. And I love it. I love traveling. I love taking care of that and talking with people and generating that one-on-one, or even that group. Group relationship. It's everything.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. All right. Well, Nick, I think that's all the time we have for today. Nick, thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm sad that we're doing this Iconic 24 online this year. Last year was incredible. The year before that was incredible. I know next year is going to be phenomenal. Okay, I know for a fact. So I need everyone to keep checking in. I need everyone to keep telling their friends about this, because we're only growing and expanding and doing even bigger.
That's good stuff.
So I thank you so much, Zach. You're the man.
Of course.
And the whole team, everybody.
I love it. And really quick too, for everyone watching at home, remember, we're gonna have new sessions every Monday except for Labor Day in September. If you go to at least 3, you'll be entered in for a chance to win our giveaway. So I better see you at some more. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and stay iconic.